Hi, I chose to write my project on methanogens and how they impact the world. Hi, I'm Manny, a methanogen. My family belongs to the Archaea domain, and we come in many different shapes and sizes, from spherical shapes called cocci to long and short rods called bacilli, even irregular shapes. Since there's so many of us, we have to specify that my genus is Methenobrevibacter and my species is raminantium. I'm anaerobic and I prefer to only be with close friends. You'll usually find me all alone in a pair, although as I get older, you'll find me linking in very short chains of bacilli. Some may call me lazy because I'm non-motile and non-spore forming. But I like to say I just use my time more wisely than some of my relatives. I am a gram positive. Many of you have siblings and cousins that make up your family tree because they're genetically similar to you, but I have subclusters instead. Researchers use our 16S rRNA gene sequencing to identify us. I like to think of my first subcluster as siblings. There are 9 of them, and they are 98% similar to me. And a second subcluster I like to call cousins. There are 15 of them, and they're 97% similar to me. We are all very similar to other methanobevibacters, although I require a coenzyme M to undergo my biological processes that others don't. While your DNA is a double-stranded helix, I only need a single-stranded circular chromosome to complete all my metabolic functions. My family and I can live in vastly different oxygen-poor environments, such as wetlands, landfills, deep-sea sediments, and the Earth's crust, as well as the digestive tract of other mammals and insects. I specifically prefer a more well-balanced diet living in the rumen of livestock. Researchers have tested when I began colonizing by using a syringe and stomach tube aspiration of newborn lambs. It showed that I colonized at birth and before the full development of the rumen of livestock, and I begin to slowly grow in population while livestock are nursing on only milk, although my population increases exponentially with the full development of the rumen of the livestock and when a grass diet begins. All organisms have different metabolic processes that convert fuel sources into energy. You eat food to get the energy you need to grow, while I live in cows that eat grass or grain. I must make friends with many different bacteria to complete my metabolic processes. I form a symbiotic relationship with fermentative bacteria in the rumen of the cattle because they undergo enteric fermentation to break down the cellulose in the plant's walls and produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. After the bacteria produce CO2 and hydrogen as byproducts, I use them as substrates for hydrogenotrophic methanogenesis, converting the carbon dioxide and hydrogen into methane. Methanogenesis converts hydrogen peroxide into methane using that hydrogen as an electron donor. You see, you produce carbon dioxide every time you breathe, which increases the world's entropy, and I reduce the amount of this greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. This might make you think that I'm a bit of a hero. However, Stanford's study made me into a villain when it released a study showing that the methane that I produce is far more effective at trapping heat in the short term than carbon dioxide is, and is actually 80% more potent, proving the methane I produce is actually increasing global warming. Global warming can affect you and future generations by causing more wildfires, heat waves, coral reef bleaching, and even severe droughts. There has been promising studies showing that adding only 2% of a red seaweed from the Asparagopsis genus to feed cows and to cow feed can actually reduce methane production by 70% without altering the fermentation process. It does this all by binding to the active site of coenzyme M and inhibiting the final step in methane production. All organisms have both positive and negative effects on the universe, and I hope that hearing my stories has helped you gain more insight into methanogens while highlighting the importance of sustainable sourced meat.